Hey guys, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. I did not use primer because, well, I feel like I want to still fill in my pores because this doesn't claim to do that. It doesn't. High coverage cream foundation, effortless application. Soft focus, filter finish, camouflages imperfections and pigmentation, which, if you haven't noticed, my redness is out of control. So I think I'm going to still fill in my pores with my smoothing primer. And then other than that, I'll use the Huda primer that it came with instead of like my Farsali or my Becca or that Estee Lauder one I've been using. So this is literally just in my T-zone. Okay, I'm really nervous because I got the shade Angel Food, which is 110 neutral. I wasn't quite sure about the beige undertone. Somebody told me though, I was reading online because people were complaining about there not being like rosy red undertones or pink undertones, which is what I am, obviously. But somebody was like, I love how everyone's complaining about there not being rosy undertones when that's what beige is, because there was beige and yellow, and beige is for pink undertones. But I just got neutral. We're gonna see how it works. Okay, so this is gonna be really interesting. Okay, let me try the primer first because Shauna said it was so good. She said it felt so good. And I know you guys are probably sick of Shauna and I talking about each other, but number one, we're friends in IRL. And another thing is that when it comes to makeup, her and I like a lot of the same things because her and I are both pale. Her and I both are dry skin. Oh my goodness. That feels amazing. I'm not a fan of the smell. That was like the first thing. Shauna's probably dying right now. I go on and on about smells. I'm such a freak about smells because I am a migraine sufferer. However, since my second trimester, I want to say, I haven't had as many, which happened with my son as well. Like, I didn't get migraines while I was pregnant. They came back afterwards. But smell is like one of my huge triggers. Oh my gosh. My skin literally feels like velvet. Silk? Maybe not velvet. It has like hairs on it. But it feels really, really good. Holy cow. I'm going to get that for sure. Holy cow. Okay. So anyways, Shauna and I love talking about makeup, but especially I feel like I love talking about it with her because we're just so similar in a lot of things. So the only thing we differ on is highlighter, and that's just because I love a blinding scene from outer space highlight and she loves a more subtle glow from within kind of highlight. So she said that she used one pump and it covered her entire face. Alright. I just know! I feel like that's not as harsh as hers was. Like, it actually blends into my neck. It's strange though because it says that it was a neutral and this definitely looks more on the yellow side to me. I don't know about the whole one pump thing either because I essentially have already used my entire pump and I haven't even done like, oh, it does look a little bit more white now. But I like the coverage, like all of my redness is completely gone. You see, it looks a lot more white on camera than it does like in real life looking in the mirror. It doesn't look that white. But I feel like I need more. I just did a half a pump more. Let's see where that gets me. I feel like it looks crazy because I don't have any on my eyelids, but it seriously like does not look ghost face to me. Am I crazy for thinking that? Let me do my concealer and then I'll show you how it sets with a powder. That is so funny. So I just looked and my Tarte Shape Tape is fair beige. And you could see how pink it was compared to this neutral foundation. So whoever that person was who was like, you guys are complaining about not having no rosy and beige is for rosy, is obviously correct because that looks like salmon to me. I am going to set my concealer with the Cover FX perfect setting powder. Sorry. So they said that the only people that need to set the actual foundation with the powder are oily people, which I am not one of those. So I mean, it still feels kind of tacky to me. So I think I'm just going to go in with a gigantic brush and just like loosely set. You know what I mean? Lightly, loosely. I'm not going to do what I usually do and go over my face a ton with the beauty blender and like kind of press it into my skin like I usually love to do, just because of the claim that people who are dry don't need to set it with a powder, which doesn't make any sense to me because it says it's a radiant finish, but it dries down to like a powder formula, which to me that sounds matte. I could be wrong. Most of the time I am, but I'm just saying. See, like, I don't feel like I look super ghost face. I feel like I almost mayhaps have gotten the right shade. So this is what I look like so far. It's not accentuating my pores. Mind you, I did fill them in, but I don't feel like, I don't know, I feel like the finish is really pretty. It's very skin-like, even though it is like a full coverage foundation. I feel like I may have gotten the right color, which is insane, because like I said, I got a color lighter than Shauna, and I feel like she's almost paler than I am, just because she like has beautiful milk skin and I am like strawberry milk, very red, and you know what I mean? So it's crazy. That's insane. So I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup and then I will check in with you guys, let you know how everything blended. If this dries down, like I said, it still feels very tacky without doing like my normal regimen of like pushing powder into certain areas, especially like my nose area I usually do because it breaks up there the quickest. In my mouth, I may have to powder throughout the day, but like I said, well, I'm gonna let you know, so I'll be right back. I finished the rest of my makeup and got dressed, obviously. For my eyes, I used the Huda Desert Dusk palette, for those of you who are gonna ask. Highlighter is the Becca Lilac Geode. Blush is Havana from Benefit, and Benefit Hula Light for bronzer. My lips, I am wearing one of the lip lingeries from Tarte. This is from their Christmas collection, and it is Enchanting. Okay, now that all that's out of the way, brows are usual nonsense. The foundation, I do have some regrets as far as not setting it like I usually do with my beauty blender around certain areas that I know break up. First of all, being my nose. I don't know if that light helps or not, but you can see like my freckles are poking through, and I don't necessarily think that it's breaking up already, but it was disturbed by the powder that I did set down, both with the only powder that I put on my nose is highlight, and so I think that the brush definitely disturbed it. I did have to like go back in with my beauty blender around my nose because I noticed it was already starting to gather just from the, you know what I mean, 20 to 30 minutes of doing my makeup. It was starting to gather right in my nose lines. Other than that, I think it's a beautiful finish. Like I said, I still feel like it's the correct color for me. I don't feel like it has like a strong line or anything. It is, like I said, kind of warm in the house, and so that's why I'm so red. I've already mentioned that many times. So that is it for the initial check-in. I did a close-up. I have some errands to run, and so we'll see how it does. It is really, really hot today. The high is like 95, and then we are going over to visit some of Andrew's family, and so I'll do some check-ins throughout the day. Hopefully I remember to do that. I don't see why I would forget, because I was just like so excited about this foundation. So we'll see. My hair is a freaking mess, but I'm in love with these headbands. Can I just tell you, they saved the day. So I will check in with you guys in just a little bit. Just wanted to do a check-in with you guys. This is like a little bit different for lighting. I don't know how I feel. It's like getting worse and worse on my nose, like breaking up. I don't know if you guys can see that. And like these marks right here are from sunglasses, but like my whole entire nose is like gone, which has never happened to me before. So I'm gonna have to reapply it and see how that goes. I did run all my errands and it is a little bit hot out, but I don't sweat on my nose, you know what I mean? So we're getting ready to go to Andrew's family's house, and so I don't obviously want to walk in looking like this. So I'm gonna fix it and then I will check in with you guys later. So very last check-in for HUDA Beauty Foundation. I did return it. I wore it I think 2 other times, both without that primer. I thought maybe that had something to do with it coming off of my nose, and so I switched over to my pore filler, my Makeup Forever smoothing primer, and my Farsali, and that was the worst. It was even worse than the first time I wore it. It completely slid off of my face, which I've used both of those primers every single day for months, and I don't have that problem with other foundations of it actually sliding off my face. And the more I used it, the lighter it got. Like, you know how some foundations oxidize and get darker when you wear them? This one like got lighter. And I wore it one day when Andrew and I were going out somewhere, and even he, like, who doesn't really comment on makeup that much, was like, you look really pale. I had to take it all off and put on my regular foundation. Like, I could not leave the house. So needless to say, I did return it one day during the VIB sale. I know that when I first filmed me applying it, it was like in October, and we're now into December, but I did want to get this video up because I put the work into filming the first portion and checking in with you guys. And for anyone who is curious, I'm also kind of glad that I did it because there are 3 people now that have mentioned that it has caused them to break out with acne, one of them being Shauna. She, I think, ended up returning hers. She's not an acne prone person either, and she broke out. And then one of my favorite YouTubers, Jamie Genevieve, who is a Scottish YouTuber, I'll link her channel down below so you can check her out. She does weekly vlogs and she's a really talented makeup artist. She like started breaking out and she was like, I just like it so much, so I won't use it every day, but it did definitely cause me to break out. And I was like, why would you? That doesn't make any sense to me. There are so many other foundations in the world that even coming out every single month, let alone what's already in Sephora or Ulta or even your drugstore, that I wouldn't wear it because the finish was so nice, but it caused me breakouts, which are there after you take that off. So I just wanted to end that video here and just letting you know that I did end up returning it. It did not work out for me. It was just very confusing with the whole, you don't need to set it if you're a dry person, which I am, and without setting it, it slid right off my face. With setting it, it slid right off of my face. It wasn't a dewy foundation. It was like definitely more on a matte side in my opinion, so not a fan, unfortunately. If you are, that's freaking amazing. I'm so glad it worked out for you. Obviously, I dropped the money in hopes it would work out for me, and unfortunately, it just did not. So that is the end of this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you're new, hello and welcome. My name is Brittany Cocco. You are watching the Cocco channel. Please subscribe if you're not already, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye!